Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy P Farm Thinking Right out here in the lab. Yeah, I'm still in the book. I got a nice little lesson for you. I've been trying to get this lesson in for a while. It's called The Sacred Task of All Right Thinkers. So get ready. It's going to be good. Wrightisms, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I greatly appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get it together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not. Get out of there. And knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it ain't simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep, I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And two, Maya, be true. When I get done with this lesson, right thinker, it's called the sacred task. I just gave you the 9 parts of the spirit. The Ba is a bad man, and that's you. Okay, understand that. That's you. The Ba is you. Hadoo. Spirit that's in me and you. I like that concept. All right, let's go. That's personally my little personal thing there. All right. The sacred task is for every right thinker, human being, to what? Know thyself. That's the only way you can get into the afterlife spiritually and consciously. Physical body ain't going. Don't worry about that. Okay? But you need to become conscious of who you are, knowing thyself. Or they said back in the day, we should know ourselves. This is going to be a good lesson. Let's go. So most human beings identify with their, you ready? Ego personality. And it's normal, it's natural. Carl Jung said it best. It's your id, meaning identification with yourself. We all should understand that concept, please, and move on. But the ego personality, y'all call it the devil, Satan, Tafar, all these crazy names, could care less again. The ego is you identifying with yourself. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But that's not your true self. That's where the problem lies for those who don't understand that. Some don't care. Okay, those who do, some of them don't care. All right, but the ego personality, the Kabet and the Ren, those are 2 parts of the spirit. The Kabet is the opposite of the Ba, the opposite of the Ba, and the Ren is your name, who y'all call yourself again. But the task is to explore and consciously discover our other 7 parts to our spirit. Even before death. That's the name of the game. To know yourself before you die. You can't learn nothing after death except what? That you failed and you got to come back again. That'd be the lesson you're going to get from that, called reincarnation. All right. But we must have the other 7 of these remembered and what? Permanently integrated into one, so that at the time of death, we will leave the earth and leave the body and name behind. Mark, P-Funk, no, right here, no. Why? The spirit moves on. And then that's why the spirit is recognized, what? By the falcon or the hawk with the wings. Why? It's going to ascend back to its maker. And your head should be on the Ba. That's what I say. The Ba right here, the spirit, that's the bird. This is you. When you become conscious, this is you going to see your higher true self. I love that concept. And that makes it real simple. All you got to do is figure that part out and understand, okay, but the universal Ba is the dot, the circle. The individual Ba is the falcon with the head on it. It should be your head. Here's the pharaoh. And behind him is what? The Ba. Okay, his spirit, his true self, his inner self. That's us. Again, and our task as human beings is to do just that. Find out who we are so why we can go home and join with our Father for eternity. Immortality is becoming one in spirit with God. God lives forever. He don't live in the time zone. God don't live in day and night. I could care less about that. Okay, that's the difference, and that's the idea of the spirit. You ain't going there, but when your spirit have your conscience, you're going to be conscious of yourself forever. Moving on. All right, that's the name of the afterlife. And you leave the body, you leave the body and your name behind. But then now we are ready to fly in our spiritual body to join who? Asar, our divine self, God, and merge with that ultimate reality from which we not only come, but who in our innermost essence is who we are. Asar, our individual soul. Remember, spirit into matter was Asar, the first one. So, and he represents the God of all humans, flesh. Y'all use Adam. We use Asar. Our individual soul joins Asar, the supreme soul. Thus, when we join God, now what happens? We are really joining our higher selves. That's what we call God. We are gods, okay, as are the people and the objects in the seen and the unseen universe. All this, it is our human beings, right thinkers, sacred task to know thyself. This to be true. This may be done, how? Through daily practice of righteous virtues and meditation. Those are the things that will get you to commune with your higher self. It's not a physical thing. It's a mental and spiritual thing. Spirit and mind becoming one, trying to make it understandable so you can figure it out and work it for yourself. If your Ka, part of your spirit, okay, if it identifies with the physical body, Scooby-Doo, roll, and it's erroneous, ignorant, subconscious ideas about reality. Your ego don't know reality. It thinks and believes it does, but it don't. And if you let it lead you, it's going to take you the wrong way. And it's erroneous ideas about reality. Why? It will not operate correctly. Your ego cannot operate correctly in the spiritual realm. Why? It don't know nothing about that. That's why it's only in physical, just the physical identity, the identification, I, me. It don't work in the next realm. That's why. Hope you understand this. But now through wisdom and inner experience, through what? Meditation and obtaining a peaceful mind. What God tell you? Still yourself and what? Know that I am God. That's how you commune with God. Still the mind and the Ka and the other bodies may be experienced and developed all integrally as one. You got the 9 spirits I just gave that lesson. The Ba, the Sahu, the Kabat, the Ku, the Ka, the Sekim, the Ab, the Ka, and the Ren. These are all aspects of your spirit. You need to understand them. And the Ba is the ringleader. Okay? That's you. You control that. Once your head going that falcon's head, that means you're going home. That's how you punch your ticket in the afterlife. How y'all know that? Y'all know. We didn't need to know. We believe that. And when everybody has a concept that they can follow, it's okay. Christians do it all the time. Y'all been believing that nonsense for over 2,000 years. You still believe it. Okay, no matter what they tell you about it, you still gonna believe it. When your faith and belief is well-grounded and true, it ain't that hard. That's my point. And we knew that. The Ba, okay, the BK is called Baka. The Ba, which is the soul, is connected to the Ka, which is the body, emotions, and the desires. Okay, the ego thing. That's it. There you go, right there. The Ka is the ego. Watch this. But through the Ab, the heart, conscious, CONSCINC, conscious, meaning scientifically proven. From here, the Ba controls the Kabat, the shadow dense subtle body. So the Ba is in control. And the Ka, the body, the physical body. I told you the Ba is the bad man. In Egypt, the process, you ready, of impregnating the female is called Baka, BKA. This is the concept and the process that must also what occur in your spiritual evolution. Our Ka must be impregnated with what? With the words of wisdom and intuition from what? The Ba, which is Aset, intuition and wisdom. That's the spirit that's in us. This is what considered a virgin birth of our spiritual enlightenment life, which leads to the birth of ourselves as transformed, enlightened beings, as gods. Every religious concept is based on that theory. No matter how you present it, how you call it, it's still the same thing. And this is the original. So everything else is just legal facsimile, a copy, a breakdown, but I'm giving it to you pure. This is the real deal. I like that. All right. But watch this now. Once you realize that you are spirit and matter or consciousness, meaning you got conscious of who you are and the spirit is God, you know yourself. This life here should be just enjoy it. That's how you enjoy it. Why? Living right, doing right. My life is fun. No matter what situation I'm confronted with, it don't change the fun and the peace that I found within myself from studying and living and being the way I am. The world's still going on. Okay, I'm in it like everybody else, but I ain't affected by a whole bunch of that nonsense. Are you? If you let that, you living, you got the wrong thing. So understand that when you're doing you, taking care of your higher self, you ain't caring about what's going on around somebody. No, take care of your own individual. That's what it means. I'm doing me. And when you doing your best job for you, you should be rewarded with what things that you need. Blessings. If we identify with our Ba, higher consciousness, the Haru that's in us, our spirit, as being one with the universal Ba, instead of our ego, ignorance, the actions prescribed by our individual Ba, higher self, our soul, will be more in harmony with what? The spirit world and nature. That's when the ego don't have God or good intention. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. It ain't thought about nature, ain't thought about nothing except what? Itself. That's why the ego self is a one kind of entity, one of a kind. It can't reproduce. It can't manifest nothing. But it will keep you in the lower state of vibration where it can keep what? Recycling and just having its way in the physical world. This is hell. This is the devil's domain. God gave this to what? All those who want this, yeah, go down there. When you get done with this, you can come upstairs. Okay? I grew up in the basement and held conceptually. Now I'm a penthouse man. I'm third floor man. No, you don't need, no. Y'all said you got to earn your way up here. Okay? In every area, every occult system, it's a process to reach self-mastery. They're all trying to do the same thing. So let me help you out with this. But when we realize our universal Ba instead of our ego self, then now all your actions is be one. I want to do right. My higher self tells me, do the right thing. Okay. Do what you want to do. Do what thy will. That's selfish. That's ego. That's the devil. Okay, understand that. If it's self, it ain't God. How about that? Simple as that. God ain't about self. Moving on. So watch this. Therefore, following one's intuition, that your conscience be your God, is taking advice from your what? Higher self, one's Ba, the spirit that's in you. Through quiet contemplation, aka in daily meditation, one's own Ba will offer insight. That pineal gland, that's the track from God to download information to you doing what? Your meditative state of mind. They done figured out, they tap to the pineal gland, and when you go into meditative state, that thing goes crazy. Okay? It just lights up. It just, yeah, that's God sending a signal. And every concept we got about, it's all about the mind. It ain't physical. God don't come in the flesh. And the Ba offers us insight into the truth, and it will lead one to what? Prosperity and fulfillment in life. I just gave a lesson about when you're living right and doing right, your life is prosperous. You're doing good things. You're going to be positive things in your life. When you live in sneaky, deceitful, you may appear to look good because the facade is, you got a nice big house, big thing, but you are sneaky and deceitful. That's what God sees. Moving on. That's what he's saying, calm to see y'all. But one true self, our true self is the consciousness that's where buried deep within us. That's why you had to go and search what? Inside yourself. Feet running, feet going. Got to call my mother-in-law. Our physical body, our nature is only a manifestation of our spirit that's inside the body. The body is the vehicle. It is our spirit which gives life to the body. Senses, which is 5 of them, and your mind process, etc. The physical body, this thing in our head, brain, it goes by the 5 senses from the body to figure things out in the physical world. In the mind, the true mind, higher self, is all telepathically, okay? That means it's all mind senses, okay? God is mental. All is mental, okay? And therefore, our body, intellect, mind, and senses are a reflection of the degree of ignorance or the wisdom there within. Depending on how smart you are, how much education, how much wisdom you have in life will decide what kind of person you're going to be of yourself. How much do you know about yourself? I just gave a lesson, the Zodiac. Leo, I know about a Leo character. If I know you're Leo, I pretty much got an idea about you. And every sign is that way to give you a little, little heads up about what kind of person you're dealing with. Oh, I ain't that. Yes, you are. You are what your sign says you are. You may not agree with it because you're ignorant, so you're going to go whatever way you want, and it's always going to be wrong. Why? Truth is truth. It ain't changing because of you. But when you gain wisdom of oneself, that which we possess in our own consciousness, what you need is always inside you already. You can't go outside yourself and get what you need. It's all already there. God did take care of that from the rip. In this light, all mental illnesses, right here, I just did a lesson about that. Mental illness is what? The ego running the show. You got a problem. And with the resilient physical illness, it's going to be responsible for the action that the ego put it through, okay? When you do things in the physical world, because the mind said it, you're still responsible for the physicality that comes behind that. Understand that. And physical illness are due to what? One cause, which is ignorance. Ding, 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 ding. Right there. Of our divine and spiritual nature, aka our true self, higher self, real self, and whatever you want to call it. The self, okay? That's God. That's what you find out when you become what? Spiritually enlightened. In order to find the ultimate truth, it ain't in the world. It's in you. We must go beyond our mind, beyond the senses of the body. Why? We must go beyond all our mental images of names and forms to which we are now accustomed by developing our intuition. Knowledge that we already have inside of us. That's intuitive knowledge. That's what our set represents. Through intuition, what's this? Only will we be able to discover who we really are and our purpose of existence. If I've been in 67 years, if I don't have an understanding of who I am and what my purpose is, what's going to happen? I'm going to be reincarnated. Why? I didn't learn nothing, obviously. Get the concept? But for those who come conscious, those who wake up, they stop the cycle of what? Reincarnation. Why? They go back. And this is the message that's above all the temples to, in effect, it says, you ready? Know ourselves. That means us, man, right? Thinkers, philosophical property, concept. Anybody who is in existence needs to know who they are. That's the gift that God gave you. All you got to do is use it. Tap into it. Never mind the gift to throw a ball, the gift to sing, all them other gifts. Find the gift of what? Knowledge of self. Use that one. Why? That's the one that's going to take you to God. Back where you come from, conceptually. I don't know nothing. Okay. But the spirit is distinct from the body. There's two different, the body is physical, the spirit is what? Spiritual, okay? It's internal. Now, if your individual body, your spirit, identifies with the other parts of your spirit, the other 8 parts, now what happened? If it don't, it will forget that it is connected to the universal body. That's when you come here, all of a sudden you don't know. So I'm going with him, the ego, I'm with him. Scooby-Doo, rut roll, bad deal. Okay, he gonna lead you the wrong way. Remember the rule is, in my neighborhood back in the day, if you wasn't down, you better not come around. Why? You're gonna get beat. Why? We know a sucker. We can see you don't know what you're doing. Okay, that's why. Those who know. Those who say don't know. Simple. That's old school. And if your body forgets and is overcome by the worldly desires and the ignorance of itself, now it will live a life of mortality. He was scared to death to die because that's all he knew. I was there. I know that for a fact. I wasn't enlightened, so I couldn't help him out. I'm just watching him, go through it. I said, man, I don't want that. I don't want it. No. So my personal experience. And thinking it will what? Die. I don't want to die. It ain't up to you. That's not your call. Moving on. Again, moving on. I ain't going there. But thinking it will die, and you will. When the body dies, you're going to die with it. Why? Your conscience wasn't enlightened, so it had no use. It's going to die with the body, hence dying twice. Haru Hood is obtaining and becoming connected to all parts of your spirits. What? All the time. How? By remembering. By remembering that you are not only connected to the universal God, the cosmic consciousness, the all-universal soul, but that you yourself are the universal soul that's deep inside you. Y'all are one, becoming one with God, becoming God-like in consciousness, understanding now, remembering who you are. And yeah, I'm God. To attain this illustrious state of mind, this enlightened state of being, is to achieve, we call Haruhood, y'all call Christhood. Some people call it cosmic consciousness. We call it Nihas. Some people call it the kingdom of heaven. They call it Moksha in India. They got Nirvana, and you got spiritual enlightenment, and a few other doctrines going on. But that's the concept. When you become one with God, you can call it whatever you want. But the experience is yours. That's your ticket, punch to the afterlife. And your universal body and your individual body from a circuit where energy is given, which is the spirit, and then what is returned. That's reciprocity. That's infinite. If I breathe in, if I breathe out, and you breathe in, we can continue that cycle. It won't stop. It's self-perpetuating. That's the concept of God and the spirit that's in us. Watch this. And it tells you the source is given. And then what? Return. When the physical body over, the source wants to go back to his maker. But if it's not enlightened, if it ain't purified, it's going to go find another body. Easy concept. Well, it is to me. But watch this. Return to the source in the what? An endless cycle of death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, until you, the individual, break the cycle of ignorance by being what? Reincarnated because you didn't enlighten the spirit. Simple. And to be consciously connected, I call it being God conscious, with this spirit, or our true essence, which is God, is the coveted goal for all right thinkers, and it's the epitome of our true existence, to become what? God, to go back home. And the reason for it, humans partake of what? You have both qualities of the spirit and those of matter. We are spiritual beings having human experience. We get to live both life. But when the physical life is over, the spirit has the option. Go home, or go get another spiritual body. Get another clothing. Why? The clothes you didn't wear didn't get you in. Moving on, you had the wrong outfit. And the goal is to what? Master both physical and spiritual. Becoming one with God while still in the flesh and alive. And this term is called, you ready? I learned this term 37 years ago. It's called Son Bonum, the supreme good or the highest good. For every human being, his highest good is to become what? His true self, one with God, to know himself. All humans can potentially become masters of their universe, their own self, by what? Becoming one with the universe. They call it as above, so below. Macrocosm, we are the microcosm of the universe. I'm about to wrap it up for you right now. I'm taking it home. This is, again, picture I showed you before we started. This is your Ba, recognizing your true self. Remember I told you that picture before we started? Now you get to understand it. Is it making sense to you now? I'm about to wrap it up and take it home. I got another little piece of information for you. I just showed you in the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, the other hieroglyphic text, the individual soul, that's the falcon-headed, is depicted either as a human-headed hawk, Haru, that's spirit, me and you, that's us, knowing ourselves, or as the ram, Amun, which is the hidden one. But in this manner, we are led to understand that the individual soul is what? In reality, the manifestation of what? The universal soul that's inside us. And the high God, Amun, the hidden one, once you find him inside you, you come face to face with your true self, who is the soul of what? Everything. And is symbolized as a ram-headed man. In its highest aspects, the individual soul cleanses itself from its association with the mortal body. Take this off, I'm done with this. Now, its consciousness have been achieved in identification with what? Its universal Ba, Amun. You get to meet yourself. And this stage, your soul is said to have become, you ready? Glorified, enlightened, purified, and is thus referred to as a Sahu, spelled S-A-H-U. In the aspect of a Sahu. What's a Sahu? What the hell is a Sahu? I'm about to tell you right now. The Sahu, the hieroglyph for your soul, is depicted as a man with a Ankh necklace, symbolized that he has what? Endured with life. He's endowed with what? Eternal life. Sahu, Ankh, means glorious, eternal, immortal spirit body in the flesh, right here. See that little guy right here? This is you. See that? That's who that? That's the mind. That's thought. That's Tahuti. But you see right here, the necklace, the Ankh, the key of life, means he's endowed with eternal life and he's conscious of who he is. All right? And the next page, wrapping up. Oh, how about this? I know y'all don't know what this is. This is the original zodiac. It ain't but 8 of them, right? Well, how could it be the zodiac? It started out with 8. We added 4 more. That's how. But this is on the Dendra temple from Entful back in the day. Okay, let me read this to you right quick. Take it home. I just said we're going to deal with the macrocosm, which is the universe. This is universal Ba. God with the falcon with the wing, the man sitting in peace with his beard. You don't see nobody in Egypt with the beard. Only God, okay? So the pharaohs get to have the false beard representing God in the flesh. That's what they show you that. And this is the individual Ba. See that right there? That's you. That's everyone right thinking who what? Know themselves. They become conscious of who they are and they can go back home to what? Their father, okay? God, which is the universal Ba, spirit that gives humans their individual Ba, so that what? They are able to experience and grow in consciousness, wisdom, and to achieve what? Their own individual immortality by becoming one with God. God is immortal. Once we become one with him, we become immortal. Come on, pay attention. I'm wrapping it up, taking it on right here. Just as the human being has parts too, so the universe has parts also. What you mean? Thus, there is what we call a universal Ba. There's a universal Sahu. There's universal Kabak. There's universal Ku. There's universal Ka. There's also universal Sekhem. There's a universal Ab, heart. Universal Ka, physical body. And a universal Ren, that's the name. But the universe is what we call the macrocosm. As above, we are the microcosm. So below, the individual is the reflection of the universe, the microcosm, so that the human being is a reflection of what? The supreme being in every way. Now, I just showed you a picture. This is a segment from the tomb on Thebes in Egypt. It shows a creation story from the Thebes perspective in which the goddess represented as a cow, the sacred cow, Mihir, gives birth to the constellation and humanity. This scene is called the Mishkan, or the birthplace, okay, the first time. It is similar to, in most aspects or most respects, to the centerpiece of the zodiac, originally located in the ceiling of the temple at Hatharu at the Dendra temple in Egypt. That was a concept that they found in the wall on the ceiling thousands of years ago about the original zodiac that only required 8 signs. So that's the lesson. Hope you got it. Man, I had fun with that one. Right thinkers, may y'all let it be 100 miles a day. So I know of my right thinkers who starting to understand how good their body is, the other 8 parts of their spirit of their body have passed away. Get knowledge of self. It can help you in the next life.